agricultural heartland of Tzaneen, Limpopo, Letaba Pakkers was facing a serious challenge. Their aging ammonia refrigeration system was no longer reliable. Cold rooms were struggling to hold temperature, glycol tanks were leaking, and maintenance costs were spiraling out of control.
Our Pakkers is one of those that has one of the varieties that needs to be cooled as quick as possible. It's very sensitive. It doesn't have a shelf life, and the protocols relating to Maluma are very strict. And having the capacity to pack the fruit fast and get it cooled down to the correct temperature as quick as possible is vital.
The main line for them is avocado and lychees and grape and so on. Temperature is very, very important, and at the same time humidity.
That's why we had to expand our cooling facilities so that we can get the quality that everyone is looking for.
So when Letaba first engaged with us, they had a relatively old refrigeration plant, ammonia, so it was a natural refrigeration plant. So Letaba had a requirement to upgrade their plant to enable them to provide more quality goods, to get more high-quality avos and lychees into the local and international market. So they wanted to make sure that their processes are controlled in a way that they don't have a lot of waste in terms of their fresh produce, and also that the produce remains fresh and of high quality when it ends up at its final destination.
After a full evaluation, Energy Partners proposed something better: a fully outsourced cooling-as-a-service solution. Through this model, Energy Partners invested 3.7 million rand to upgrade and operate a new ammonia system at zero upfront cost to Letaba Pakkers.
Obviously, they needed cooling urgently and with a minimum as possible standing time of the existing plant.
Once we agreed on what we were going to do and what we needed in terms of additional cooling that we wanted, they stepped up, their teams arrived there, and everything just worked. They were very professional, they did their job, they were ahead of schedule. It really was easy to deal with them, and it worked very well.
Because we do cooling as a service, we could take the capital off the table and say, listen, let's not look at the capital, but let's look at this plant from a total life cycle cost perspective. And there are three elements to the total life cycle cost of a plant. It's firstly the capital, secondly is the O&M, or the operation and maintenance of that plant across its life cycle, and then thirdly it's the energy cost. And the energy cost is by far the biggest component of these three aspects. And then most importantly, it technically de-risks our customers, because we own and operate the plants, we look after the plants, and we allow our customers to focus on their core business.
The old system, which was prior to our time, I understand that it was a fully hands-on job. Somebody had to be watching that all the time because it was a baby that you had to look after. Now it's something that we can just go and have a look at the history. Energy Partners manages that. They tell us when there's an issue. They tell us they picked up something at 3 o'clock in the morning. We don't have to monitor it like we did in the past. We know we get the temperatures that we set, and it works.
Letaba Pakkers now benefits from guaranteed uptime, 24-hour monitoring, and a predictable monthly fee structure. Most importantly, they've regained full confidence in their cold chain, keeping their fruit fresher for longer and ready for markets around the world.
Energy Partners, they are really your partner because they come to the party in a financial way. So they carry that burden. You pay on a monthly basis for having the cooling available and what cooling you use. So we can predict and budget during our peak time what we're going to pay. Cooling is a major factor in our business. Temperatures have to be 100% correct. A degree is massive. So knowing that that's taken care of and we can carry on with the avos is great for us.
The one thing that I can also say is that cooling as a service is beneficial to the seller, which is EP. It's beneficial to the buyer, in this case Letaba Pakkers, and it's also beneficial for the environment because we have such a big focus on efficiency. So that translates well to a Japanese term called sanpayoshi. It's a three-way benefit. It's not only to the buyer or the seller, but the environment and society as a whole also benefits from this type of business model. Cooling as a service plants just emit a lot less carbon because we start that plant, we commission it at a very high COP or a very high efficiency, And in our cooling as a service contracts, we guarantee anything between 80 and 90% of that plant's peak COP or peak efficiency over the lifetime of the contract. That means for 15 or 20 years, we need to maintain that efficiency. And that means over the life cycle, you're going to save a lot on emissions or carbon emissions.
The result? Cold rooms that now operate at correct set points, a 20% reduction in energy costs, and a total annual emissions avoidance of 425 tons of CO2, equivalent to over 4,250 tons across the 10-year contract.
I will recommend Energy Partners because of their supporting system that they have in place. Also, their service that they provide is a very good service. And to be honest, I don't have any complaints with them so far.
I would recommend them because they've been very reliable for us. The service has been great. They're real specialists in this field, and it's not our speciality. So definitely a recommendation from our side.
We're all about providing world-class sustainable refrigeration solutions to companies in Africa and in the future beyond our borders. And we look forward to other companies doing the same.